Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to dive deep into the fascinating, data-driven reality of modern enterprise back-end architectures. Look, if you've been anywhere near the software engineering world lately, you have absolutely heard the endless, noisy debates about which programming language is truly winning the future, right? Well, today, we are cutting straight through all that noise. We're going to look strictly at the data, the hard benchmarks, and the architectural realities of 2026 to figure out what is actually happening at the absolute highest levels of enterprise software. So let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. Is Java literally losing the language war to Python? I mean, with Python absolutely dominating the TOB index at an incredible 20.97% as of April 2026, and Java trailing way behind at just under 8%, you really have to ask, is Java's era finally over? To put that into perspective, this is the widest spread we have ever seen between these two heavyweights in the index's entire 25-year history. If you're just looking at developer mindshare, the popularity contests, it looks like a total landslide victory for Python, hands down. But the reality on the ground, it tells a completely different story. According to a recent Azul survey on the state of the industry, a staggering 99% of organizations are still actively using Java in their enterprise deployments. 99%. Plus, nearly 70% of them report that more than half of their applications run on the JVM. So we're looking at this massive glaring contradiction. Python is undeniably capturing the minds of developers and dominating the hot new trends. But Java? Java stubbornly remains the undisputed bedrock of actual real-world enterprise infrastructure. To understand this massive gap, we're going to explore 5 key areas today. The Java enterprise reality, Java 25's steady refinement, the garbage collection engine, a Python versus Java performance comparison, and finally, the hybrid enterprise stack. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the Java enterprise reality. The divide here is just stark. On the developer engagement side, Stack Overflow usage shows Python is absolutely crushing it at nearly 58%. And hey, that makes sense. It's driven massively by the sheer explosion in AI, machine learning, and data science. But the enterprise deployment metrics paint a very different picture. Right now, 62% of the Fortune 500 are actively deploying Java for their core operations. So while Python has this immense developer mindshare for the data pipelines of the future, Java is actively running the transactional backbone of the global economy today. It is doing the heavy lifting for massive banking cores, complex insurance claims, and high-frequency trading platforms. And you know what? This wasn't an accident. This philosophical difference was baked in from day one. I love this quote from Java's creator, James Gosling. Java is C++ without the guns, knives, and clubs. He specifically designed Java to be this memory-safe, strongly typed, and highly robust language built for immense, unshakable scale. And enterprises desperately need that stability. They literally need code written a decade ago to still run predictably today. Java's strictness, which, let's be real, some modern developers find super annoying, is exactly what keeps these massive mission-critical systems from just collapsing under their own weight. Moving right along to Section 2, Java 25, steady refinement. So Java is actively trying to shed its old reputation for being overly verbose. We've all been there, right? In older versions of Java, just to print Hello World, you had to write out a public class, a public static void main method, and basically wade through a sea of structural boilerplate. Well, Java 25 radically reduces that friction. Thanks to compact source files and instance main methods, you can now literally just write void main, open a bracket, and print your string. Boom, done. This is a huge deal because it allows developers to prototype and script as quickly as they might in a language like Python, totally removing that initial barrier to entry while still keeping the powerful structure Java offers when the project inevitably scales up. Now, don't get me wrong, Java 25 isn't about throwing away the rulebook with crazy disruptive changes. It's all about steady, pragmatic refinements. We now have flexible constructor bodies, which means you can finally validate arguments before calling super. We've got module import declarations to cut down on all that visual noise at the top of your files. Scoped values are standard now, completely replacing the clunky older methods for safely sharing data across concurrent threads. Plus, primitive patterns make pattern matching easier, and compact object headers significantly improve memory efficiency right under the hood. It might sound like small tweaks, but all these changes compound. They make production workloads so much leaner, easier to read, and vastly easier to maintain at an enterprise scale. Okay, let's pop the hood for Section 3, the garbage collection engine. To really grasp the next big breakthrough, let's do a quick refresher on garbage collection. At its core, it's just the automatic process that cleans up unused memory so developers don't have to manage it manually. Simple enough. But older Java virtual machines had to literally stop the world, meaning they'd freeze the entire application just to clean up this memory. Those kinds of latency spikes were totally unacceptable for high-frequency, real-time systems. But modern garbage collection algorithms, they have completely changed the game, constantly pushing the boundaries of what automatic memory management can actually do. Let's look at how this builds into the absolute latest research. Standard modern collectors, things like G1, Shenandoah, and ZGC, are tracing collectors. That means they have to actively trace every single live object just to figure out what needs cleaning up. For massive datasets, that becomes a severe bottleneck. Enter the LXR collector. This is a cutting-edge approach. Instead of tracing everything, LXR uses highly optimized coalescing reference counting. It keeps track of references and reclaims memory promptly, resulting in only incredibly brief, highly optimized pauses. It's a totally different way of tackling the problem. And the results of this approach are honestly just mind-blowing. When you compare the Shenandoah collector to the new LXR algorithm running the Lucene search engine, LXR delivers nearly 8 times the throughput. But here is the kicker for enterprise systems. It delivers 10 times better 99.99% tail latency. That means even your absolute worst-case delays are drastically reduced. By stepping away from the heavy CPU overhead of constant concurrent tracing, LXR achieves massive scalability and immediacy. This right here is exactly why Java remains an absolute powerhouse for extreme scale backend performance. That brings us to Section 4, Python versus Java performance. These metrics brilliantly illustrate the real-world trade-offs that CTOs are forced to make every single day. A modern Java Spring Boot app can handle a staggering 40,000 to 60,000 requests per second per core. That is roughly triple what Python can achieve with FastAPI. However, there's always a catch. Java historically demands a much higher memory footprint, we're talking 300 to 500 megabytes per instance, and it suffers from a slower cold startup time of about 3 to 10 seconds. Though it's worth noting that new ahead-of-time, or AOT compilation techniques, are rapidly fixing that startup issue. Python, on the other hand, is super lean on memory and starts up in a flash, which is exactly why it absolutely thrives in serverless environments. So the crucial point here really comes down to your workload type. For heavy CPU-bound workloads, think intense number crunching or complex data transformations, Java absolutely dominates. That's thanks to heavy JVM optimization and static typing. Now, for I/O-bound workloads, where your app is essentially just sitting there waiting on a database or an external API, Python has historically been the strong favorite with its asynchronous libraries. But beware, Java 25's virtual threads have effectively closed that gap entirely. They provide comparable async throughput, all while keeping Java's static type safety completely intact. However, we cannot ignore the human element of software engineering. Industry analysis consistently shows that Python codebases require 3 to 5 times less code than Java equivalents to build the exact same features. Python's brevity means engineering teams can ship code much, much faster. And let's be totally honest with ourselves, for the vast majority of enterprises out there, developer velocity, the actual speed at which you can get a new product to market, is a much bigger bottleneck than raw server throughput. I mean, if you don't actually have 40,000 requests per second to process in the first place, Python's iteration speed starts looking incredibly attractive, right? Which leads us nicely into our final section, Section 5, the hybrid enterprise stack. The reality of 2026 is that this simply isn't a zero-sum game. The biggest tech titans on the planet, companies like Netflix, Spotify, and Airbnb, they aren't sitting around choosing between Python and Java. They use polyglot architectures. They rely on Java for their unshakable, massive-scale transactional backbones, and they use Python for their agile data pipelines and machine learning models. They just work together seamlessly. In fact, 62% of enterprises are currently using Java to integrate AI capabilities into their systems. That means they are actively building out hybrid stacks that deliberately leverage the unique, distinct strengths of both languages at the exact same time. I really hope this explainer gave you a clearer, data-driven picture of the enterprise landscape as it stands today, because it's not about which language is objectively better in a vacuum. It's about matching the right tool to the specific constraints of your unique workload. So, as you look at building the future of your own organization, I want to leave you with this final thought. When architecting your next critical workload, will you prioritize the rapid developer velocity of Python or the extreme transactional throughput and stability of Java? It's a big decision, so choose wisely, because what you pick today will shape your infrastructure for a decade to come. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I'll see you next time.